First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Tali Freit, the administrative advisor, and Dr. Reza Pragabagar, the technical advisor. They have both put up with a great deal this quarter to have this project come to fruition. I'd also like to thank the IAB for taking the time to participate in evaluating our projects. And this project is an application I created over the summer called Orchid, which uses your emotions as input for the song selection process when listening to music. My name is Philip Axar, and I present to you Orchid, revolutionizing the way we interact with music. Moving on to the agenda, we'll be going over the problem statement, what experiment I've conducted, the constraints, what exactly is involved in the project, why did I choose such a topic and how I came up with the idea, how did Cal Poly help me do this with relevant coursework and what classes I took, methodology, how did I conduct the experiment, user interface explanation of how to go about using the application, our results, and then forecast future plans and possibilities of the application, and finally some logos, which I would love feedback on. So the problem statement. The potential statistical difference between gender emotional response must be evaluated to better refine Orchid. I wanted to see how men and women react to songs they like and dislike, along with how intense those emotions are, and compare and contrast the two. Constraints. I literally had a summer to pool all the resources together to create the application, and the month of October to test it out. The cost of getting a programmer, programming not being one of my specialties, and getting a graphic designer to follow my design concepts was roughly $1,000. We don't truly have a benchmark for this type of project. Pandora uses over 400 different musical attributes when selecting songs. These 400 attributes are combined into larger groups called focus traits. There are 2,000 focus traits. Examples of these are rhythm, syncopation, key tonality, vocal harmonies displayed, instrumental proficiency. But this is something we don't focus on yet, because the notion of actively liking and disliking music, together with the options of free software that has commercials, or a fee-based ad-free subscription, are borrowed from Pandora's model. Other than that, Orchid just doesn't compare to anything. Just a quick background on the device. Nobody better to give a description than the company that makes it themselves, Emotive. Based on the latest development in neurotechnology, Emotive has developed a revolutionary new personal interface for human-computer interaction. The Emotive Epoch is a high-resolution neurosignal acquisition and processing wireless neuro headset. What does that mean? So this is a headset that has 16 sensors and can be purchased online for $300. It basically records your emotions and translates them into some sort of action. They're a company based in San Francisco that I interned for over the summer and was allowed to use their software and hardware to create my application. So why did I make this app? Well, first off, I love music. How did I come up with it, though? Well, for my project, I wanted to create that feeling you get when you listen to the radio and that exact song you wanted to listen to comes on, or when your playlist is on shuffle. We've all been there. You're in a certain mood, and there's just what you need to pick you up, or the precise tone to match your feelings, giving you an undescribable amount of elation or comfort. And that's something I want to be able to replicate with the Orchid software. Some applicable coursework. What courses helped me do this? IME 429 is essential when designing the experiment and coming up with a design for the application. I wanted to make something user-oriented and seamlessly intuitive. IME 319 is also ergonomics related and gave me a sense of what the brain-computer interface world was like, along with what it means to sit someone down and conduct an experiment properly. IME 303, that's project management, and project planning and scheduling. Going into this topic could take the whole presentation, so I can save that for Q&A. Here's how I conducted the experiment. I had the user, one at a time, of 30 male, 30 female, in a controlled setting to bring 5 songs they liked, disliked, and were neutral about. I then randomized their playlist and tracked which songs were supposed to have a positive or negative response. We will go into how this is done, along with the 4 metrics that are displayed when we go over the interface. These values are from 0 to 1 scale, and after the data was collected, we did a two-way ANOVA using Minitab, with our hypothesis saying there's no interaction between genders. Genders being our independent variable, and the values spat out by the headset for each metric being our dependent variables. First off, here's the intro screen. All the dots on the screen on that headset looking image in the center represent the various sensors as the wireless headset is placed on your scalp, and then the dots light up from green, good signal, all the way down to yellow, orange, red, and then black, which is no signal. Once that's ready, we can click Ready. You can see the standard cover flow theme similar to iTunes, centering the album in the front and your headset from one screen in the corner over here. So you can monitor your signal strength. And a playlist drawer is out from the side, and you can select the songs from there. Similar to thumbs up, thumbs down concept we're used to, we have hearts and broken hearts, as you can see right here. This can help validating the system when we randomize songs, and the program and this way the program will definitely know that the user does indeed or does not prefer the song playing when they are in a certain mood. Although right now we cannot exactly see the combination of the 4 readings and what they translate into, meaning, let's say right here, engagement, meditation, frustration, and excitement. So if you had engagement of 0.25 and frustration of 0.1, we can't say, oh, well, that equals concern. The system takes these values and saves them for the songs we listen to, then takes those tags of the songs into account when you want to choose another song. So engagement, meditation, frustration, and excitement. Although we don't know what happy looks like, or sad looks like, or angry looks like, the software will know what this image is when you're listening to a particular song. And it'll take this image, tag it onto the song, and when you put on the headset and just press play for random, it'll read the live feed of how you're feeling and just mirror it with what you usually listen to when you're in that particular mood. ANOVA results. So here are results. With a 95% confidence, we had a p-value of 0.38, so we can reject the null using Tukey's method. And since there's no interaction, there will be no need to adjust the software for male-female oriented profiles. The revenue aspect of my project was tricky. I used Pandora's info along with how apps usually sell in Emotive's app store to come up with some numbers. About 8 to 12% of all current users of the headset, roughly 6,000 users, buy whatever app comes on sale at the Emotive store, regardless of how cool or how lame that application may be. I used 10% of users as a number to purchase my app and forecasted it out for a year. Pandora charges $2.99 a month for an ad-free version of the program, but they make 80% of their revenue from advertising with the free version. So I assumed that 10% of users would purchase the app within the first 3 months and use the fee-based version to bolster the values for the ad-free version of the software, estimating $473,616 for the first year, for the first year's worth of revenue. I'm just assuming that it levels out here because after 3 months, they're basically they have the year-long subscription, so it really doesn't change from there. Although the advertising one can change, but there are too many variables to take into account to come up with an accurate graph of that. So I just used it as a higher percentage of what's used for the fee-based model. Something we wish to consider in the future is licensing fees. 50% of Pandora's cost actually comes from licensing the music fees to agencies such as BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC, in order to compensate composers, songwriters, and publishers. Lastly, Pandora also pays Rovi for song and artist information, as you can usually see when you play around with Pandora and try to get the information. A few good ideas we came up with, and I would love to hear some from the IAB and our advisors, is categorical playlists. Coming up with mood-oriented playlists that we can integrate into the software. So pick happy, pick sad, pick fun, pick bored, whatever. You can create that with Orchid when we're given enough data. Social networking. The same way Spotify posts on your Facebook wall which songs you're listening to, Orchid can even broadcast how you're feeling, furthering our connection with other people via technology. Advertising. All the commercials that Orchid plays between songs can also be tagged with specific emotions that will be recorded and fed back to the advertiser. Mood controls. If you want to be pumped up or take a nap, we can start to recognize these characteristics in the songs people play after gathering enough data and offering this as a feature. This one I thought was particularly interesting. Silent discos. Large groups of people are all wearing wireless headphones in a concert, as you can see in the displayed photograph of one of my friends who told me all about this great time that he had at a silent disco at a music festival. Large groups of people are all wearing wireless headphones in a concert setting where they listen to music together. Using the headset, we can calibrate the music to the collective emotions of the group and queue up a playlist in accordance to everybody's rhythm, enhancing the already entertaining experience. So everybody could be listening to songs together at this giant concert of silent disco, and as that data is picked up, the next song could be chosen for everyone. Honestly, other possibilities are endless right now. Focus groups can use the emotion recognition of music with commercials and use that feedback to better understand the market and how we react to advertising. Here are some logos that I would like the group to marinate on. I would love to hear some new direction in this department, as my designers haven't quite hit the spot yet. Just as a side comment, you can look out for me on the Discovery Channel early next year demoing Orchid on a show called This Changes Everything. Here are some photo references for the pictures I do not own, and I really appreciate all of you for coming out and participating, going over our projects. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and these photographs of me looking like a mad scientist conducting all these experiments. Hopefully I'll be in better shape when I see you all this week. Thank you.